right, welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back to Build Your Legacy Insurance Edition podcast. Travis, we just ended a podcast that we talked about doing personal versus commercial.
Yep.
You asked a question real quick about how does that personal lines agent transition into commercial lines? So figure we go ahead and run that through real quick.
Yeah, it's one of the things for us working with a lot of startup agencies in particular that come from that personal lines world. It's a goal of theirs. Is part of the reason they're starting their own independent agency is they want to write commercial insurance. They have all these great relationships in their community, their centers of influence, and even the personal lines accounts they're writing. They naturally have businesses. They want to take care of them, and it's admirable. And so that's one of the things that we like to take pride in is being able to help them make that transition. We talked about it on the last podcast. Some of these commercial risks can be complex. You want to make sure you understand what you're doing, understand the profile of that risk, what the exposures are, how to insure it appropriately before you actually jump off and really dive into this thing headlong.
Yeah, I mean, it's, focusing on that small commercial. Even the big brokers look at small commercials similar to personal lines.
Yeah.
And I'd say we could kind of take that here for the person listening that's looking to transition from personal lines to small commercial.
Mhm.
And I would say that focus on small commercial, not big commercial. Look at the BOPs and the prepackaged things that are ready to go that are similar to a homeowner's
Yeah.
package that gives everything included.
Yeah.
The BOP would do something similar in commercial lines. And so I think that's something to focus on there would be looking at the small commercial.
Yeah, I tell guys all the time, right? You want to let's focus on hitting singles. I'm a baseball guy, right? So let's focus on singles. Let's not try to jump out and hit a grand slam, right away. And so the I'd say the joke I always use, and it's not really a joke, but like that hair salon, right? That local business that you can understand, you can ramp yourself up on, that you said is on a BOP platform, things like that. Start there. Develop your profile, develop your relationships, and really learn your product before stepping into the complex issues of things. The other caveat to this, we talked about planning a lot here over the last few episodes. Writing these BOPs, write these smaller accounts, while they're not what I'd call big premium dollars, they're still wins. And if you talk to a lot of your marketing reps, they value that just as much, if not more, than the large premium accounts.
I think that's where I would kind of circle back to is the relationship.
Yeah.
Is if you're looking to move from personal lines into small commercial, that's what these carriers are wanting.
Yeah.
They typically are profitable there. They understand it. They've got good technology. They've got good people.
Mm-hmm.
Focusing on that, focusing on just one or two markets, build a relationship with that marketing person, build a relationship with that underwriter if it happens to hit it. Get to understand the classes that they write so you're not wasting your time like you kind of talked about before. Yeah. Go after the things that they want to write. Go after things that you want to write. It makes it a whole lot easier.
You said, hey, focus on 1 to 2 markets. And I would even say within those 1 to 2 markets, focus on, 1 to 3 risk max and become the expert in that field. You know your partner wants to write it. You've got a product there that's competitive. You've got an understanding to where when you sit in front of that prospect, you're not just quoting and praying. Right. It's a win-win, and you're going to see a lot more success by, sort of narrowing that funnel instead of trying to be the jack of all trades.
Absolutely.
Right. Narrow that funnel, focus on those things, and start putting those wins on the board.
Yeah. And the carriers have good training things. We have, SIA of North Carolina in partnership with SIA has good training platforms to start growing in small commercials. So there are some things there. And to your point, walk before you run.
Yeah, walk before you run. Take the time. I think in a lot of things we say, take the time and the effort to educate yourself.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's the biggest thing. Take that time, be practical in what you're doing, and you'll have success.
Yeah. And the good news is that we help people and we see this happen all the time. So people can transition, agents can transition from personal lines to small commercial to big commercial. It happens.
Yeah.
And it does take time. It does take some education with the right relationships and the right resources. It can be done, at a good pace.
I would agree with that. The other thing I would say with the small commercial and kind of looking at the marketplace today and what's going on, there's a lot of opportunities for that independent agent to write business, because sometimes we find these accounts, they're not getting service. They don't have that personal relationship with their former agent or their broker they're working with, because they're just not of that size and they're not generating the income that justifies that to that entity. Whereas that local independent can provide them what they need and what they want from an agent a lot better. And I mean, there's a lot of opportunity in the market in your communities to go out and win that business.
Yeah. Look, I agree with you. I mean, it's kind of, Travis, that hits on some podcasts that we've done in the past, or Allie and I have done, about being active in your community and getting out there. You're going to build relationships with people that do own businesses right in your community.
Yeah.
We want you to be able to write them, even if you're a personal lines agent. It may not happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
But you can transition and get there, and to your point, probably handle them better than somebody else.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, good to see you again.
Yeah.
A quick turnaround.
Quick turnaround. So, yeah. We'll see you back next time.
Yep. We'll see you again.
Thanks for tuning in. You can catch our Build Your Legacy Insurance Edition podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. Be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, or send us over a topic recommendation at podcast@siaofnc.com. If you're interested in learning more about what we do, visit us online at www.siaofnc.com. We hope you enjoyed our newest episode. See you next week.